Hello everyone, intuitive and astrologer Lisa Salvatore here to talk about the first half of July. July 2025, the month that shifts the game. In this video, we are going to go over the astrology and the energies for the first half of July. And for my members, there will be a live stream on July 1st to go over the energies of July in more detail and through the signs as well. If you are interested in finding out more about how my memberships work, just hang on and it'll be at the very end of this video, and it is also linked in the description box below. July 2025. This is a month that doesn't just tiptoe in. It blazes in with the message that change is not coming. Change is here. The energy is intense, electric, and full of fusion. It's emotional and excitable, inspired, yet a little disorienting. We are navigating through cosmic and energetic terrain that asks us to stay fluid, to stay flexible, and yet to stay grounded. And most importantly, stay true to what's rising within. Think of July as a spiritual check-in with your inner child and your higher self. Here's a quick breakdown for the beginning of July, and then we'll go into more detail. Cancer season opens up the month, inviting us into the waters of memory, emotion, and inner restoration. This is sacred territory for healing the heart, connecting to our roots or reconnecting to our roots in some cases, and tending to our emotional needs. Venus enters Gemini, where she'll flirt and flutter all month long. Positively speaking, this brings lightness and levity in matters of love, beauty, pleasure, and connection. Of course, also relationships. But Venus in Gemini can also bring a little touch of chaos with her, particularly if we are not grounded. Conversations may multiply, options may multiply, ideas swirl, and you're going to want to be sure that you're listening just as much as you're speaking. That will go a really long way this month, especially with matters of the heart. Then comes a major turning point. Neptune will station retrograde in Aries. This is big. Neptune in Aries dissolves illusions through fire, not fog, not the usual fog that Neptune has been known for while traversing the sign of Pisces. Neptune in Aries is new terrain, and Neptune's about to station retrograde. This is not about passive dreaming. This is about piercing through any delusion and illusion with direct action. It's less about what we imagine or what we feel, and it's more about what we're willing to fight for, collectively and personally. The question becomes, are your dreams aligned with your courage? Expect awakening energy that may feel confrontational at times and may feel emotional, but incredibly clarifying. This is about spirit-led bravery and soul-led rebellion. And then the main event of July, and quite possibly one of the main events of 2025, Uranus enters Gemini. This is the disruptor of disruptors, moving into the sign of thought, speech, messaging, communication, information. On a personal level, this shakes up how you learn, communicate, and express yourself. Expect breakthroughs, expect mental rewiring. Collectively, this is the start of a massive shift in the way that we share knowledge, engage with media, engage with each other, and process truth. Uranus is all about a higher truth. It's about freedom and authenticity. And oftentimes, disruption precedes that. Innovation explodes, narratives crack. The world speaks a new language, and you're being invited to be fluent in your own voice. July 10th brings in a powerful full moon in Capricorn, and this full moon is shining a stark, sobering light onto what has been weighing us down. The ruler of this full moon is Saturn, the great taskmaster, the keeper of time, and Saturn is getting ready to station retrograde right at the heels of this full moon, really pulling focus onto what has been weighing us down and anchoring us, for better or worse. This full moon is a cosmic audit with the potential to be a cosmic reset. It's where emotional intensity meets structured reality. Frustrations and tempers may flare, but so can resolve and resolution. Let go of the pressure to perform this month, especially when we get to the time of that full moon. Reclaim your inner authority. Reclaim your inner peace. Set down the old blueprints. The new one is already forming. You are becoming. Big theme and message for the month of July. Around this time of the full moon, Saturn will also station retrograde in Aries, adding to the slow down to level up theme. Things are going to feel quick and like they're speeding up, especially with Uranus now in Gemini, but this is temporary. We still have to take our time and think things through, connect to our inner child and our higher self, and ask ourselves, is this aligned with my courage? The retrograde of Saturn is an invitation to slow down and go within, and it's here to help us to realign with our responsibility, keyword for Saturn, with ourselves. It's not about what others expect of you, but what your soul came here to commit to. Saturn is all about commitment. Reevaluating our commitments is a huge theme this month. And let us not forget that as we move to the mid-month point, we're getting ready for a Mercury retrograde through fiery Leo. We're already beginning to feel those rumblings as Mercury entered its pre-retrograde shadow zone at the end of June. This particular retrograde is set to be loud. Communication becomes colorful, but also volatile. Expect fiery exchanges, ego-driven drama, and major inner rewrites around how we express our hearts and hold our creative power. Big themes and messages of Leo energy, especially with a retrograde, Mercury retrograde through Leo. And that is just the first half of July. That is just an overview. The sky is alive with activation. We are all alive with activation. This is a month of revelation, realignment, and radical release. The tempo picks up, the soul gets louder, and the universe is pushing you into motion, ready or not. Pushing all of us into motion, ready or not. So anchor in what's real, let go of what's old, and trust that everything is moving you exactly where you need to be. Now let's break this down a little further. These are just all my links where you can find me. And again, everything is linked in the description box below. I've got both free and paid supportive content to help you to identify and how to track transiting energies through your own birth chart. So be sure to check all of that out. Everything's linked in the description box below. Now I want to invite you into a quote that I channeled for the month of July. From ocean's womb to fire's flame, July arrives to shift the game. We heal, we feel, we rise, we shine, in rhythm with the stars divine. You know me, you know I love my rhymes. But this quote perfectly encapsulates the month of July. It is a month that is a game changer. It shifts the game. July 4th, Venus enters Gemini, and Venus in Gemini is an energy that flits and flirts and flutters. It connects through the intellect. And Venus will be in Gemini all the way through the end of the month until July 30th. Venus in Gemini is a fabulous energy for communication because Gemini loves to communicate and express and share ideas and share visions. And Venus in Gemini is very bold and effervescent and friendly. The shadow side to that energy is that it can sometimes appear and maybe even be a little bit superficial, preferring to kind of skirt the surface and not really dive too deep. Because remember, Gemini is a sign of the intellect of air. It's a very humane sign. It's very focused on the humanness in our interactions, but from the intellectual lens, through the intellectual lens, I should say. But Venus in Gemini can also lend to more of a lighthearted energy when we're communicating and conversing with others, when we're in groups, when we're with our friends, anything having to do with networking. Venus in Gemini is a really nice energy for that. The downside is there can be too much duality, too many different things going on at once. So just remember to ground and anchor and fine tune. Stick with what's really genuinely important for you and constantly check in with yourself and ask, as we said in the beginning, are my dreams aligned with my courage? On July 4th, Neptune stations retrograde at 2 degrees and 11 minutes of Aries. Neptune will be retrograde until December 10th. Neptune's also going to back into Pisces, covering over some old terrain. So this Neptune and Aries transit has given us a sense of the new terrain that is being laid down, both personally and collectively. But we know that we're in the middle of a rebuild on all levels. And that can feel a little disorienting. It can feel a little foggy, but when Neptune retrograde in Aries, it's about piercing through the veil, piercing through the illusion, and getting to the heart of the matter, getting to the heart of what really matters and brings us again most into our authentic self. It keeps coming back to themes of self-worth, self-love, reconnecting to the inner child, bringing back what sparks the vibration of joy, the feeling of joy. And feeling more emotional is definitely a part of the deal, a part of the whole entire month, but especially the beginning. So go easy on yourself as we are all meeting different versions of self. They've been there all along, but we're becoming more aligned. And that does not always feel fun or pretty, but it is gratifying and soul rewarding. On July 7th, we've got the big transit. Uranus enters Gemini. Until November 8th, Uranus is going to dip into Gemini and give us a glimpse or a glimmer of how quickly things are going to shift. The energy, the momentum picks up. Remember, Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018. Taurus is fixed earth. Uranus is fast and disruptive, change-inducing, where Taurus is a sign that really gets solid and even a little bit stuck in what is working. And even when it's uncomfortably working, it's working. Uranus now shifting into Gemini is a game changer. We've got Uranus, the god of the sky, the god of thunder and lightning, the planet of innovation, disruption. We've got it entering Gemini, the air sign, the sign of the intellect, the sign of movement, the sign of duality, the sign of the media, the sign of communication on all fronts. Real quick, I'm going to do a live stream on July 7th with another astrologer. We got together and we did one on Saturn. So we're going to do a whole thing about Uranus and Gemini. So I'm also going to put out a separate video for Uranus in Gemini through the signs. But here is just a quick little bullet point list of some of the major movements of Uranus for the next few months. Uranus enters Gemini July 7th, and it gets to 1 degree and 28 minutes of Gemini. Then Uranus will station retrograde on September 6th. Uranus will re-enter Taurus on November 7th. That's why I said we're getting a glimpse, we're getting a glimmer of this energy, of these energies of Uranus in Gemini. And then Uranus will station direct February 3rd of 2026 at 27 degrees and 28 minutes of Taurus. So Uranus is still going to get some time in Taurus. It's going to back into Taurus. So you're not out of the woods yet, my Taurus folks, until Uranus officially passes the torch to Gemini on April 25th of 2026. And that will be until 2032. And that's where we're going to see massive leaps and bounds and steps forward in everything having to do with the way that we connect, the way that we communicate, our ability to receive information and deliver information. The way that we think is going to be changing from one moment to the next. We're going to see massive leaps and bounds with aviation, with the aviation industry, with space. And when Uranus enters Gemini, you can see it right here at 0 degrees of Gemini, big shift. And it kicks off in an alignment with Venus in Gemini, very quick, very communicative, very expressive. I'm pretty sure we're going to be hearing a lot about the financial systems around this time, a quick change. But I wanted to show you that we have something. Uranus has not been in Gemini since the 1940s. And right now, with the outer planets all shifting, they're also harmonizing with one another. And we have not had this in quite some time. We're coming from a time where the outer planets were in mainly earth and water. And that has felt like a lot. And now we're moving into where the outer planets are in fire and air, which is absolutely pulling us forward with more gusto. But also we've got Uranus now at 0 degrees of Gemini and Pluto's at 3 degrees of Aquarius. These two are trining each other, which is supportive. And then we've also got Uranus at 0 now in harmony with Neptune and Saturn over here at 1 and 2 degrees of Aries. So for the first time in a long time, these outer planets are really talking to each other nicely. And even with everything going on across the world right now, I feel like we need to focus and really hang on to that message. Of course, we're under a time where a lot of the old way is collapsing, but this is happening because it's supposed to happen. This is divinely guided, divinely orchestrated so that we can rebuild. That's what this is all about. So this is absolutely kicking off a cycle of years to come where we're going to see a lot of the old falling away. We're already seeing it happening and quite quickly at that. And then that new becomes reborn. The new is born. This is happening personally as well. And then we get to July 10th and we've got that full moon in Capricorn. It's at 18 degrees of Capricorn. And I'm going to come back and do a reading separately for that full moon through the signs as well. But the ruler of that full moon is Saturn, and Saturn is getting ready to station retrograde right at the heels of this full moon on July 13th at 12:07 a.m. Eastern Time at 1 degree and 56 minutes of Aries. And Saturn will be retrograde until November 27th. I wanted to put this image here as a reminder that retrogrades are not bad. Retrogrades are invitations to slow down, and we all need that, especially as Uranus is blazing into Gemini. It's really going to start picking up the tempo. We're going to be feeling like a lot is coming at us all at once, even more so than we've already been feeling. And so it's really important to slow down. Saturn is the planet that reminds us that good things take time. It's about managing our time. It's about our commitments and our connections and the way that we manage all of that. All things considering, Saturn is now aligned here with Neptune at 2 degrees. So they're a degree apart, but they're still quite close. So there's going to be a lot of, we're going to be seeing and hearing a lot having to do with borders and boundaries, both emotionally and then quite literally out in the world, the dissolution of some of those borders and boundaries, the way we work within and without borders and boundaries. Big theme with Saturn retrograde and Neptune retrograde, and they're still hovering quite close. We're also going to see a lot with water and, unfortunately, fire. This could be also very metaphorical, the old way burning away or washing away to bring forth the new growth, new life. All of that to say, when Saturn is retrograde, it's just a really great time to reevaluate and rethink your own processes of your everyday reality, how you're doing things, how you're moving throughout the world, what are you working on, what projects are you putting your effort and energy and attention to, where are you putting your intentions, which relationships are for your highest good and which ones are not. All of this is coming into question, and this is exactly where we're supposed to be. Saturn will also retrograde back into Pisces, so we are still wrapping up some things from our own personal reality over the last few years. So take your time and continuously come back throughout the month of July and ask yourself, am I aligned with my courage? Am I aligned with my truth? Am I connecting to my inner child? Am I loving myself? Am I allowing myself to experience joy in any capacity? Because that is something that is absolutely lacking over these last few months. Joy. Think about where you may need to anchor and what you might need to anchor. And just keep coming back and asking yourself, are my dreams aligned with my courage? Do I have what it takes to make this happen? Am I willing to do what it takes, what I need to do to make this happen? Very strong lessons of Saturn retrograde. And that's going to feel especially strong around the Capricorn full moon. And that reading's coming up shortly. Remember to take care of your physical body. This month is going to feel like a lot. Ground yourself, get out into nature, feel the sun on your face, feel the rain on your face. Keep up with your body, tune in to what it is trying to tell you. Drink more purified water, eat more healthy whole foods. I'm not saying all the time, of course, follow the 80-20 rule as best as you can. Support your system. If you're a part of my Soulscription, we talk about this all the time. There's a massive rewiring that is taking place on this planet. Everybody is feeling it, and our physical bodies are absolutely going through it. We must take extra care and be extra mindful of everything we are feeding ourselves emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Okay, so that's the first half of July. I will be back with the full moon in Capricorn reading and also the second half of July. And now for my members, each week I put out deeper insights for the upcoming week and the month ahead. If this is where our journey ends, take really good care of yourselves. Until next time. And if you'd like to know more about how my memberships work, just take a listen. Hello, everyone. Warm wishes for a happy and healthy 2025. I am so excited to be here with all of you, all of my beautiful subscribers, and to continue to put out supportive content. I will continue to give you astrological and intuitive updates. My channel will not be changing. I will be doing new moon and full moon readings along with some insights through the signs, monthly astrological and energetic updates, astrology updates overall, and some more how-to videos, readings on current events, etc. None of that will change. That will also be here on my channel, but I am excited to roll out a few new options for 2025. Here on YouTube, I now have a membership. That membership is $7.99 a month. You do not have to join the membership, but you can if you want to. And what that membership encompasses is obviously all of the general free content that is out there and will continue to be out there, but with more exclusive content. So every Sunday, I go live and I give the astrological and energetic forecast for the upcoming week. And we have some spiritual chit chat there. There's a live chat. Now that is going to be sent to you with the YouTube membership by recording. If you wanted to be a part of the live stream, I have another subscription, which is based on Substack, which is where I have my newsletter and where I am the most interactive. And that will also be linked in the description box below if you're interested in that. But the Substack membership is $10 a month, okay, to be transparent, or $100 per year. And every Sunday, I do go live and I give the astrological and energetic update and forecast. And it's, like I said, it's interactive and I answer questions. And then monthly, I do a live Zoom where I go into more details for each month, readings through the signs. And in those monthly lives, there's also the opportunity to be read, both astrologically and psychically, combination of the two. That is with my Substack subscription. That is with my newsletter subscription, to be clear. The YouTube subscription, the one that is $7.99 a month, you will get the recordings of everything that I do on my Substack newsletter. To join the YouTube subscription, all you have to do is go right to my homepage and just click join. And once again, thank you to all of my amazing subscribers. I'm so thankful and grateful to each and every one of you. I'm also grateful that I get to provide this content, and I really hope that it supports you on your spiritual journey.